Simplify your writing, don't complicate it. I want you to forget everything you know about writing complex sentences. You want the reader to know what you're talking about. When you start an essay, for instance, I want you to get to the point immediately. First of all, you want to capture the reader's attention, and I want you to do that in the first sentence. If we look at this one, life is the sum of all your choices. So goes the saying by Albert Camus, and most of us can agree that this is what life boils down to. So here you have like this catchy phrase of well, what this text is kind of all about, something general. And then I don't want you to wait until paragraph 4 to get to the subject of the text. That is, you want to have that link to the text that you're writing about, or in this case, a short film. But there are individuals who do not have the luxury to make their own choices because they're forced by surrounding circumstances to let others choose for them. In the short film, Baghdad Express, Maya is forced to choose between her dreams and her father. Her father is ill and old and has no one else to rely on. Thus, she really does not have much choice but to sacrifice her own dreams to be there for him. So here you have like 4 sentences. One where you have that catchy phrase, then you have the bridge between that catchy phrase and the subject itself. And then you have like where you kind of elaborate just a bit on the main theme here, which is sacrifice. You'll have plenty of time to dig into the nitty-gritty details of the topic later on, but here you want to establish what is this about, okay? So tell them what the text is about in the introduction. This is vital. Then you go on to analyze it and finally tell what you've figured out in the conclusion. When you write, you should think about shorten your sentences. Check the length of your sentences in your text. If you find any with more than 25 words, consider rewriting it in 2 sentences. Another sign of a sentence that might be difficult to read is multiple commas. If a sentence uses 3 or more commas, think about making separate sentences. If we look at this one, if I seem a little crazy, angry and grouchy right now, I think it is because Emily, my co-worker who sits at the next cash register, keeps singing that song from the cartoon with the exploding chicken, and the little boy tries to make the chicken angry, and I think I'm going to explode if I hear that song one more time. So this is a really long sentence and a lot of unnecessary elements where you need to take some bits away to make it more precise. So leave out unnecessary elements. So if we look at it here, if I seem a little crazy, angry and grouchy, okay, you have 3 adjectives here to just where you only need 1. So instead of saying, if I seem a little grouchy right now, that's a lot more, it's just easier. It is, I think, because Emily, my co-worker, so I think is superfluous. It is obvious that this is your opinion. And this goes to whether it's the analysis or a discussion or whatever you're writing, I think it's just completely superfluous because it's evident that this is what you think. And so just leave it out. Who sits at the next cash register? Again, is this relevant? You know, Emily, my co-worker, that's kind of enough to understand what you're going to say. She keeps singing that song from the cartoon where the chicken keeps exploding and the little boy tries to make the chicken angry. And so here you're just floating away and the reader loses the interest in what you're saying. You want to keep it simple. So here, she keeps saying that song from the cartoon with the exploding chicken. A full stop. And then I think I'm going to explode if I hear that song one more time. You don't want to have an and here. You want to have a full stop because there's actually something new going on. So rather have a full stop than a comma if it gets too long. So remove the fluff. If you use adverbs to modify verbs, think about choosing stronger verbs instead. You ran quickly to the scene of the crime. You dashed to the scene of the crime. See, it's the same thing, but it's more precise, and you can just remove some of the fluffy. When you use more than 2 adjectives to describe a noun, it's just too many. Look for a more powerful or concise adjective. As we see here, it was an exquisite, glorious, golden sunrise. It was an astonishing sunrise, beautiful sunrise. You can call it whatever, but it's just pick one word to be more precise about what you are actually going to say, and deliver your message in as few words as possible. So we see this one. The writer showed some of the various ways for cutting words from a blog post that I had written. Again, this that I had written is just superfluous. Just skip it. And instead, that the writer showed how to cut words from a blog post. Easy and simple. So, cut and consider redundant words or phrases. Avoid relative clauses. These elements of parentheses, just avoid them as much as possible. They abrupt the flow. And it's the same with unnecessary adverbs or adjectives. General wordiness. Keep it simple. Find the precise words that express your intention and use a dictionary for that. Use of full stops instead of commas. And then read it through. Thank you.